Why are you worried? Take a moment and ask yourself this question sincerely. Is it because of tomorrow? Is it because of money, health, relationships, or fear of failure? Worry often comes from imagining a future that has not yet arrived and may never arrive in the way we fear. As human beings, we are created with emotions. Feeling concern is natural. But when concern turns into constant anxiety, it begins to drain our energy, our focus, and our peace. So, education teaches us that excessive worry does not solve problems, it only multiplies them. Look at how life works. Every single day, you breathe without planning it. Your heart beats without instruction. The sun rises without your permission. If so many essential matters are already taken care of, why do we assume that every challenge rests entirely on our shoulders? This does not mean we sit back and do nothing. No, we are taught to strive, to plan, to work hard, and to make responsible choices. But once we have done our part, worrying about the outcome serves no benefit. Effort is our duty. Results are not. Many people worry because they compare their lives to others. Someone else seems more successful, more settled, more confident, but comparison steals gratitude. Every person is on a different journey with different lessons and different timelines. Education helps us understand that growth is not uniform and progress is not always visible. Ask yourself, has worrying ever changed the past? Has it ever guaranteed the future? The answer is no. What it does change is the present moment. It takes away joy, focus, and clarity, things you actually need to solve your problems. When challenges come, they are not signs of abandonment. They are opportunities to learn patience, resilience, and trust. Just as muscles grow through resistance, character grows through trials. Without difficulty, there would be no wisdom. One of the most powerful habits you can develop is reflection. Pause, breathe, and remind yourself, I am doing my best. Replace negative thoughts with purposeful action. If something is in your control, work on it. If it is not, let it go. Remember, peace does not come from having everything. Peace comes from knowing that you are not alone in facing anything. When you focus on gratitude for what you have today, worry about tomorrow begins to fade. So I ask you again, why are you worried? Do what you can, improve what you are able to, and leave the rest with trust. A calm heart thinks clearly, learns better, and lives wiser. Worry is a natural emotional response that arises when the mind anticipates uncertainty, danger, or loss. From an educational psychological perspective, worry exists as a protective mechanism designed to alert human beings to potential problems and encourage preparation. In moderate amounts, it can motivate planning, problem solving, and responsible behavior. When worry becomes excessive or constant, it shifts from being useful to harmful. Instead of guiding action, it overwhelms thought, disrupts emotional balance, and interferes with daily functioning. One of the key reasons worry becomes destructive is because it is often rooted in imagination rather than reality. The human mind has a strong tendency to project into the future, creating scenarios based on fear rather than evidence. These imagined outcomes feel real to the person experiencing them, even though they may never occur. Educational research on cognitive behavior explains that the brain struggles to differentiate between a real threat and a perceived one when emotions are heightened. As a result, the body responds with stress, tension, and anxiety, even when no immediate danger exists. Another important aspect of worry is the illusion of control it creates. Many people believe that by worrying, they are somehow preventing negative outcomes or preparing themselves emotionally for disappointment. In reality, worry rarely leads to better decisions. Instead, it consumes mental energy that could be used for constructive thinking. When the mind is trapped in repetitive, anxious thoughts, it becomes harder to focus, learn, and evaluate situations logically. Over time, this mental overload can lead to fatigue, irritability, and reduced productivity. Worry also weakens emotional resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover from challenges and adapt to change. Constant worry trains the mind to expect failure or harm, which lowers confidence and self-belief. When a person repeatedly tells themselves that something will go wrong, they begin to doubt their ability to cope. Educational psychology shows that individuals with high levels of chronic worry often underestimate their problem-solving skills, even when they have successfully handled similar situations in the past. Another dimension of worry is its impact on faith, purpose, and inner stability. When worry dominates, it shifts focus away from trust and gratitude. A person becomes so absorbed in what might go wrong that they fail to recognize what is currently going right. The imbalance creates dissatisfaction and instead of living in the present, the individual lives in a continuous state of anticipation, prevents emotional peace and contentment. Yet physiologically, worry has measurable effects on the body. Prolonged worry triggers stress responses such as increased heart rate, muscle tension, and disrupted sleep patterns. Over time, these effects can weaken the immune system and contribute to physical health problems. Education in health sciences confirms that chronic stress and anxiety are linked to headaches, digestive issues, and decreased concentration. This shows that worry is not merely a mental issue. It is a holistic concern affecting both mind and body. Worry also distorts perception. When a person is worried, they tend to focus selectively on negative information while ignoring positive evidence. This cognitive bias reinforces fear and makes situations appear worse than they are. For example, one small setback may be interpreted as total failure, or a minor mistake may be seen as a permanent flaw. Such thinking patterns limit growth and learning because mistakes are essential tools for improvement. Understanding the nature of worry requires recognizing the difference between responsibility and burden. Responsibility involves taking reasonable steps to address a situation. Burden arises when a person mentally carries outcomes that are beyond their control. Education teaches that effective problem solving begins with identifying what can be influenced and what cannot. When individuals learn to separate action from outcome, worry naturally decreases and clarity increases. Ultimately, worry becomes harmful when it replaces action, trust, and reflection. By understanding its nature, individuals can learn to manage worry rather than be controlled by it. Awareness allows people to challenge irrational thoughts, focus on present responsibilities, and develop healthier emotional responses. This understanding forms the foundation for emotional intelligence, personal growth, and long-term well-being. The balance between trust and responsibility is essential for emotional stability and effective decision-making. Responsibility refers to the actions, planning, and effort a person is capable of performing, while trust refers to releasing attachment to outcomes that are beyond human control. Many individuals struggle because they confuse these two roles, either by neglecting responsibility in the name of trust, or by carrying the full weight of outcomes as if everything depends solely on them. Educationally, responsibility is tied to accountability and effort. Human beings are expected to use their intellect, skills, and resources to make informed choices. This includes setting goals, preparing for challenges, seeking knowledge, and taking practical steps toward improvement. When responsibility is fulfilled, it creates structure and direction in life. Responsibility has limits. No amount of planning can guarantee specific results because external variables such as timing, other people's decisions, and unforeseen events remain outside human influence. Trust begins where responsibility ends. It does not mean passivity or avoidance. Rather, it is the acceptance that outcomes are not entirely in one's hands. Trust allows a person to perform their duties sincerely while remaining emotionally detached from results. This mindset reduces anxiety because it removes the pressure of perfection and control. Educational psychology highlights that individuals who focus on effort rather than outcome tend to experience higher motivation and lower stress levels. A major source of worry arises when individuals assume they are responsible, not only for their actions but also for the final result. For example, a student may study diligently but still worry excessively about exam results. The responsibility lies in preparation, discipline, and effort. The outcome is influenced by many factors, including exam conditions and performance on that specific day. When a person recognizes this distinction, they learn to measure success effort by effort rather than outcome. Another important aspect of this balance is emotional ownership. Taking responsibility for emotions such as guilt, regret, or fear over matters that are uncontrollable leads to emotional exhaustion. Trust teaches emotional release. It allows a person to acknowledge uncertainty without being consumed by it. This emotional regulation is a key component of maturity and psychological health. Trust also encourages ethical behavior and sincerity. When people believe outcomes are solely dependent on them, they may resort to unhealthy competition, shortcuts, or manipulation to secure success. When trust is present, individuals focus on integrity, knowing that honesty and effort are their true obligations. Education, neural development supports this, showing that intrinsic motivation leads to healthier long-term success than fear-based motivation. The balance between trust and responsibility also strengthens resilience. When outcomes do not meet expectations, individuals who understand this balance are less likely to collapse emotionally. Instead of self-blame, they engage in reflection. What did I do well? What can I improve? This reflective process promotes learning and adaptability. Failure becomes a teacher rather than a threat. Another dimension of this balance is patience. Responsibility demands action, but trust requires patience. Many worries arise from the desire for immediate results. Learning to wait without anxiety is a skill developed through trust. Educational studies show that delayed gratification and patience are strong predictors of long-term success and emotional stability. This balance also improves relationships. When individuals take responsibility for their behavior but trust others to make their own choices, they reduce conflict and trying to control others often leads to frustration and disappointment. Trust allows healthy boundaries, while responsibility ensures respectful interaction. Understanding trust and responsibility helps redefine success. Success becomes the process of sincere effort, learning, and growth, rather than a specific outcome. This perspective reduces fear of failure and encourages continuous improvement. By focusing on what can be controlled and releasing what cannot, individuals experience clarity, peace, and purposeful action. Perspective is the lens through which individuals interpret events, challenges, and outcomes. When purpose is clear, perspective becomes balanced, and difficulties are no longer seen as meaningless obstacles, but as part of a larger process of growth. Many people suffer emotionally not because of the severity of their problems, but because they lack a framework that explains why those problems exist. Education helps establish this framework by teaching that experiences, both positive and negative, contribute to personal development. Challenges often feel overwhelming when they are interpreted as signs of failure or punishment. When viewed through the lens of purpose, they take on a different meaning. Purpose provides context. It transforms hardship into an opportunity for learning, reflection, and refinement. Just as academic mistakes reveal gaps in understanding, life's trials reveal areas that require emotional, intellectual, or moral growth. One of the primary reasons perspective is lost during hardship is the tendency to focus only on immediate discomfort. The human mind is naturally inclined towards short-term relief rather than long-term benefit. Educational psychology explains that this focus narrows thinking, reducing problem-solving ability and emotional regulation. When purpose is remembered, attention shifts from pain alone to potential outcome, enabling endurance and patience. Purpose also reshapes the understanding of success and failure. Without purpose, success is often defined by comfort, ease, or external achievement. Failure then becomes deeply personal and discouraging. With purpose, success is measured by growth, effort, and integrity, while failure becomes part of the learning cycle. This reframing strengthens emotional stability and prevents despair when expectations are not met. Another essential aspect of perspective is recognizing that difficulty is universal. Education and social studies consistently show that struggle is a shared human experience. regardless of status, wealth, or background. When individuals believe they are uniquely burdened, isolation and resentment grow. Purpose reminds people that hardship connects rather than separates humanity, fostering empathy and patience. Perspective through purpose also encourages gratitude. This does not mean ignoring pain, but acknowledging that alongside hardship, there are always elements of support, ability, or opportunity. Gratitude shifts attention away from what is missing toward what remains. So, educational research demonstrates that gratitude improves mental health, increases resilience, and enhances overall life satisfaction. Trials also serve as a means of self-discovery. In moments of ease, many qualities such as patience, courage, and discipline remain dormant. Difficulty activates these traits. Through challenge, individuals learn their limits, strengths, and values. This self-awareness is critical for personal and professional growth. Purpose allows individuals to recognize that adversity is not meant to break them, but to reveal their capacity. Another important element is time perspective. Many worries are magnified because individuals view current struggles as permanent. Purpose introduces the understanding that life is dynamic and constantly changing. What feels overwhelming today may become insignificant tomorrow. This temporal awareness reduces emotional intensity and encourages perseverance. Purpose also refines decision-making. When individuals understand that life is a process rather than a series of random events, they make choices aligned with long-term values rather than short-term comfort. This alignment brings internal peace, even when circumstances are difficult. Education and goal setting and values-based decision-making supports this principle. Perspective through purpose ultimately transforms emotional responses. Instead of reacting with frustration or fear, individuals respond with reflection and responsibility. They ask constructive questions. What can this teach me? How can I grow from this? This mindset does not eliminate difficulty, but it removes hopelessness. Understanding life through purpose allows individuals to navigate uncertainty with calm and confidence. It reinforces the idea that challenges are not interruptions to life, but essential elements of it. This understanding strengthens character, deepens wisdom, and builds a resilient outlook rooted in meaning rather than fear. Practical spiritual tools are methods that help individuals manage anxiety by aligning thought, behavior, and inner awareness. So, these tools are not abstract ideas, but daily practices that develop emotional discipline and mental clarity. Education emphasizes that habits shape mindset, and when spiritual habits are applied consistently, they strengthen inner stability and reduce unnecessary worry. A reflection is one of the most effective tools for managing anxiety. It involves pausing regularly to examine thoughts, intentions, and reactions. Many worries persist because they remain unchallenged. Reflection allows individuals to ask whether a fear is realistic, useful, or within their control. From an educational standpoint, this mirrors critical thinking skills, where assumptions are questioned and conclusions are evaluated. Reflection prevents emotional reactions from becoming automatic and creates space for reasoned response. Remembrance is another powerful tool that anchors the mind. It involves consciously directing attention toward higher meaning rather than constant mental noise. When the mind is filled with continuous stimulation and negative thought loops, anxiety thrives. Remembrance interrupts this cycle by providing mental focus and grounding. Cognitive studies show that repetitive, meaningful phrases or thoughts can calm the nervous system and reduce stress responses. This practice trains the mind to return to stability during moments of uncertainty. Prayer, in its practical sense, serves as both emotional release and mental organization. It allows individuals to express concerns without suppression and to articulate hopes in a structured manner. This process reduces internal pressure by externalizing worry. Educational psychology recognizes the therapeutic effect of verbalizing concerns, whether through speech or writing. Prayer provides a disciplined way to do this while reinforcing humility and acceptance. Positive action is an essential component of spiritual practice. Anxiety often increases when individuals feel stuck or powerless. Taking even small constructive steps restores a sense of agency. Education in behavioral psychology confirms that action reduces anxiety more effectively than rumination. When a person acts on what they can control, the mind naturally quiets and confidence increases. Spiritual discipline encourages consistent effort without obsession over results. Gratitude is another practical tool that reshapes thought patterns. It shifts focus from loss to presence, from fear to appreciation. Gratitude does not deny hardship, it balances perception. Studies in positive psychology show that gratitude practices improve emotional regulation and overall well-being. By intentionally recognizing what is still intact, individuals prevent worry from dominating their mental landscape. Another important tool is patience through routine. Establishing regular times for reflection, remembrance, and purposeful action creates structure. Structure reduces uncertainty, and reduced uncertainty lowers anxiety. Education emphasizes routine as a stabilizing factor, particularly during stressful periods. When spiritual practices are integrated into daily life, they become anchors that provide consistency regardless of external circumstances. Self-discipline also plays a role in managing anxiety. This includes regulating media consumption, controlling negative self-talk, and maintaining healthy boundaries. Excessive exposure to alarming information fuels worry. Spiritual awareness encourages mindful intake, reminding individuals that not everything deserves attention. Educational research supports the idea that attention management is critical for mental health. Community engagement is another practical tool. Isolation intensifies worry, while shared experience reduces it. Engaging with supportive individuals provides perspective and reassurance. Learning environments emphasize collaboration because collective support enhances problem solving and emotional resilience. Spiritual practice reinforces this by promoting empathy and mutual care. These tools work most effectively when applied consistently rather than selectively. Anxiety does not disappear instantly, but its intensity diminishes as habits strengthen. Over time, reflection sharpens awareness, remembrance stabilizes thought, prayer releases emotional burden, and action restores confidence. Together, these practices cultivate a calm, focused, and resilient mindset that is capable of facing uncertainty without being overwhelmed.